Hey, it's Tigman. Time for this week's edition of the Metal Box, our weekly discussion on all things hard rock and heavy metal. This week we're featuring a recent interview that we did with legendary rock drummer Carmine Appice. He's got a new album out. The new Appice album is called Sinister. It also features his brother Vinny Appice. We talked about a lot of stuff, including that album, talked about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, talked about the possibility of a reunion with his 80s supergroup Blue Murder. That and a whole lot more. You can check out the full interview right here. We got Carmine on the phone with us. Carmine Appice, it's great to talk with you again. How are you?
Good. How do you get the name Tigman?
You know what? A nice Italian last name, Ritigliano.
Okay, cool.
Tig for short. And then we just came up with Tigman, and it just kind of always stuck. So last time I got to see you was a few years back. You did Drum Wars at the Chance in Poughkeepsie with your brother Vinny, and you did that Drum Wars show, which was great.
Right.
Yeah, how did that all come about?
It's really good. It's a lot of fun, and we've developed it even more, and we've added now songs from the new album, Sinister. We added Sinister, Monsters and Heroes, Riot, and we still do Drum Wars, and we do the Sabbath Mash, so we got really 5 songs from the new album.
Yeah, it just came out, the new album Sinister. You can pick that up. It's on the Steamhammer SPV label. I watched the video for the song Monsters and Heroes. Paul Shortino on vocals sounded awesome still to this day. I mean, just a great vocalist.
Yeah, he's a great singer. He's a good friend of mine. I call him my brother from another mother. I mean, we're so close, and anytime I need, vocals and lyrics, I call him because he's awesome. We did 2 King Cobra records together, and that Monsters and Heroes actually started in 2011. It was written by me, Paul, and Dave from King Cobra, and we recorded it with King Cobra and gave it to Wendy Dio to use for her foundation, the Cancer Foundation. They used it for 2 years, and anything that the record made, money-wise, went into the foundation. Then the rights came back to me. So when we got this record deal, I said to Vinny, you should listen to this song. I think it would be a great song for me and you to do for the album. And he loved the song, so we took we took that song and gave it to SPV as a demo, and they loved it, and they signed us. So when we actually did the record, we took the multi-track of that song, we did some editing and fixing up, and we put Vinny on it. So actually, it's Vinny and King Cobra playing in that song.
Awesome! It's a strong track.
And then we released it, and then we said, we were going to do the album dedicated to Ronnie. So between Paul used to be managed by Wendy and Ronnie. Vinny played with him, and he was like family to us. And I know him since '78. I said, this is a natural, and that's the only song lyric we put on the album cover is the Monsters and Heroes song. It's just dedicated to Ronnie with pictures of me and Ronnie and Vinny and Ronnie. And the video, we got permission to use Ronnie's pictures in the video. And it's a real great tribute to Ronnie, who's a great singer and a great guy.
Yeah, definitely YouTube the video. It's great. We were watching it before. Monsters and Heroes. The new album is out, of course. You're doing some touring behind this album?
Yeah, we are. We already did a couple of shows before the album came out, one on the west, one on the east, and we're going to Europe in January for 10 shows, and then we're doing 2 performances at the NAMM show, and then we're doing like a bunch of dates between March 25th and April 5th of this year, and then we go back to Europe in May. And then by then we'll see where the album is, and then hopefully we'll get some other festivals booked in the summer and all that. But we're definitely planning to go out and play the songs. We're already playing the songs, as I said, and the audiences loved Monsters and Heroes. They're singing it, and since when we finished Sinister and Riot, we got standing ovations. It was awesome,
We're speaking with Carmine Appice, of course, legendary career, Vanilla Fudge, Cactus, King Cobra, Rod Stewart, Ted Nugent, Ozzy, Blue Murder. List goes on. What was your favorite time in your career, Carmine? Who was your favorite person to play with?
I probably would think, the stem with Rod Stewart had to be the most unbelievable time because, you go in the studio, you record a record, you're going to sell 5 million records.
Right. That's
and,
a given. Yep.
You go out and you play, and you're going to play 6 nights at the Forum, which is $20,000 a night. You go to Australia and play for 40,000 people in a stadium, plus 6 nights at an 8,000 seater. It's like 100,000 people almost. And then I co-wrote the You Think I'm Sexy, and it went to #1 and sold so much. Made so much money and just brought me into a whole new status of my career and learning a lot about songwriting from Rod, a lot about image, a lot about, if you go out to a drum clinic, don't just do a drum clinic, make it an event, giving money to charities, I learned so much from that whole experience with Rod that carried through to my, the rest of my career, really.
Scariest moment you've lived through on the road, touring?
Scariest moment. Well, I think that it's probably, I've been prone to these massive bloody noses, I had surgery 10 years ago, and I just had another surgery.
Okay.
And they found something that was not correct in my body, there was a vein attached to an artery that went right to my nose that shouldn't have been there. So they said, so if you have a nosebleed, it's like a faucet.
Yeah.
So right after the video, I came back to New York and I ended up in the hospital for 3 days.
Jeez.
So not supposed to happen, according to the last surgery. But this one was more precise. But anyway, it's when I had some bloody noses on the road where it wouldn't stop. It's like I was taken to emergency room. One time I was in Australia, and I was getting ready to go on and do a big clinic. It was like 800 people out there, and for a clinic, I was wearing a Sabian white gym suit, sweatsuit.
Yeah.
And I got a bloody nose. I bled all over the white.
Not good. Not a good look.
It wasn't good.
Oh, man. You still do a lot of stuff with Vanilla Fudge, of course, Carmine. What about a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nomination?
Yeah, I don't know. I gave up on that.
You did,
because, I think if we were going to be in, we would have been in already. And, I'm very disappointed at it because it's not, they should call it the Music Hall of Fame because they're bringing in people that are not rock and roll.
Absolutely.
We influenced a lot of the people that they brought in already,
So it makes no sense that
One
you're
way or
not in
another,
there.
I mean, between Vanilla Fudge and Cactus, we influenced so many people back in the day. And, Vanilla Fudge should have been brought in. I mean, Deep Purple was brought in, right? And, we influenced Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin. We influenced Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
We influenced, so many bands. But I don't really think we're ever going to get in, but I don't really care.
It's not that important to you.
We're in the Long Island Hall of Fame. I myself are in the Modern Drummer Hall of Fame.
Right.
I'm getting a Heavy Metal Hall of Fame award at the NAMM show. I'm in the Rock Walk of Fame on Sunset Boulevard. So, I think I personally left my mark, and Vanilla Fudge sort of left their mark too. But 50 years and we're still playing. We have a live set coming out, which is a DVD and an audio done at Sweden Rock Festival last year, celebrating 50 years in the business.
That's awesome. Well, we'll look for that. I
don't even know who they're recommending. Somebody said today they had a list of the new people who are being considered for the Rock Hall of Fame. You know what? I don't even look at it.
Not important to you anymore.
No, it isn't.
All
right. They probably have some rap artists on there. Rock and roll.
Well, that's a given.
Or pop artists,
Yeah, exactly. One other quick question, because I know we're running out of time here. I asked you this last time I spoke to you a few years ago. You get asked it a lot, I think, but I have to ask you, as a big fan of the band Blue Murder, will we ever see the reunion? Will John Sykes get up and play guitar again?
I doubt it. I mean, me and Tony, last year, we played with John at his house a couple of times, and we thought we were going to go out, and then it never happened. So... as Mike Portnoy asked me when he was trying to put the Winery Dogs concept together with John Sykes, he said, how do you get Sykes out of the house? I said, dude, I tried for 10 years, 12 years, I'm done.
Yeah.
And then I went back again, and we tried again, and we still can't get him out of the house. So
that's a shame. So
the closest we got is Riot on the Sinister album, with Robin McCauley singing, and Government Mule's bass player, Jorgen Carlson, playing bass. And it sounds pretty damn good on that record.
Yeah, pick up the new album from Carmine and Vinny, Sinister. It's great with an all-star lineup of artists on there. Good stuff. Carmine, thanks for spending time with us. Always a pleasure to talk with you.
Okay, bro. See you soon, dude.
You got it. Take care.
All right.
You got it. Take care.
All right.
And that'll do it for this week's edition of the Metal Box. Thanks for tuning in. The Rock and Roll Limo has arrived. We'll see you next week.